welcome to Your Saturday Night. I am Your Saturday Night, and here we are for another absolutely wonderful, get together. That's what we are. So, welcome. Oh, and welcome. Kitties are all doing well, and we're about to get into a little bit of drawing today. Once I find the pencil I actually wanted, that wasn't the pencil I wanted. Kitties are all doing well, and we're going to be doing a little bit of, well, you already know, it's art night, so that's what we're doing. It's going to be wonderful. So, welcome, no matter where you are joining from, welcome, and I am glad you are here. Some of these subtitles are not coming through exactly right, but I do have captions on for anyone who wants them or needs them, so we have that. It's going to be good. It's going to be absolutely wonderful. But no, just talking and dilly-dallying. It's time to start. With what's important here, or at least why many people will have come. Oh, yes. As per usual, I am multi-streaming, so you can find me on many different platforms. So no matter where you're joining me from, it's going to be a good time. You know, the great part is I'm not actually supposed to say anymore that I'm multi-streaming. Or at least that's the way it seems with certain platforms. They're starting to be a little unhappy about it. Which is weird, but at the same time, I can understand the thinking process because they're trying to get people kind of like dedicated to certain platforms and certain areas online, and they want to stay as native as possible to where they are. Now, of course, that doesn't work one little bit for me because I need as diverse an audience as I can get across as many platforms as I can make it. That's just the way it is. So, you can find me across multiple platforms. If you want to find me, just look for Your Saturday Night. And you'll find me in many places. I hope everyone is doing well. Oh, yeah. So that is something that I have noticed. There's things that do not come through properly. But that also kind of goes for just Restream in general. So, Restream in general, it doesn't actually show all the conversation, but it is still currently my best option, my best choice. Yes. Yes, I do. I see you over there. It doesn't come through properly. But, it's okay. going to do today is we're going to do our best to not just multi-stream, not just create art, but our best to take full advantage of where we are. Actually, no. I'm not gonna sit and think too hard about all of that. What I am gonna do though is I'm gonna continue to enjoy creating. When it comes to art, I have very specific topics and subjects and even styles that I work in. And one of the most important things personally for me when it comes to what I'm drawing and what I'm making is that I'm happy. Now, there's a lot that, if you're an artist, if you're a creator, that you end up doing not because you're happy or not because you enjoy it, but because it's almost an expected. And when there's expectations like that, when there's almost that pushing that belief that you're supposed to do things in a certain way, it gets boring. And I don't want it to get boring. I want it to be enjoyable. I want to do the things that I like. So I'll be darned if I'm going to do anything less than what I like. It does make certain aspects of the expectations for a creator difficult because there are expectations for creators. We are expected to do certain things, behave. I did say something to you there. I don't know what you're talking about. Here, there we go. It's really hard to interact like outside of just chatting because my hands are actively engaged, but I do my best. Do my best. As it is, though, there's a lot that just I don't know. It doesn't carry the right amount of weight. You know what I mean? It doesn't carry the right amount of weight. Those are the things that we really need to put our focus into. What carries weight, what has proper meaning. I've been putting content online for way too long. 16, 17 years. Multiple YouTube channels and platforms and multiple types of videos. And at this point in time, it's just not as it doesn't hold the same kind of motivation that it used to. It doesn't have the same real kick that it used to. And that's not to say I'm going to stop doing it anytime soon. But, there's a lot of things that aren't as important anymore compared to when I started. Like when I started with YouTube and everything back, what was it? It was like 2006. Yeah, when I started back in 2006, there was a certain amount of pressure that I felt to do certain types of content and drive certain ways, but it became pretty evident I wasn't gonna be that type of creator. I wasn't gonna be the type of creator that had that presence. I had my audience, but I wasn't that motivational. Not motivational. Not motivational. That's the wrong word. I didn't have the kind of impact or presence of a lot of my contemporaries. And that was fine. I mean, at the time, it was awful. Like, it was bad. It made me feel like I was wasting my time. And with that feeling like you're wasting your time, you get a bunch of other feelings that come along as well. You feel like you're not doing enough, you feel like you're not achieving enough. But that's really an unfair position to put yourself in. It's an unfair position to try to live within. And people that I was doing YouTube with when I started, and people that were like creating video content while I was, some of them are gone now. Like they faded away. They're not even here anymore. And others actually are really big. They've just become, I don't know, kind of enormous. Enormous might even be too much to say, but the long and the short of it was, not everyone is going to make it doing this. And granted, I wasn't always on the art side of things, like when I started. Like, some of what I was doing was very much the arts and artistic, and I was doing things like sculpting and crafting and building things, and like there was a tactile nature to what I did. But some of it was just me being silly, me being kind of fun and random and trying to capture that essence, that energy that is present there. You know, and that's sometimes just the way it was. You know, you try to engage in those areas, in those spaces, in the way that you think you're supposed to. Now I'm going to put a lot of emphasis on the way I just said that, on the way that you think you're supposed to. Because there's a lot more of the, oh, I'm supposed to do it this way, that comes along in the creation space than I think is fair. And being a creator in that way, no matter where you are, no matter what space you're working in, it's hard. Oh, is it ever hard? I mean, it's just ridiculous to think that people can live up to these expectations. Now, the funny thing is, very few people are actually setting those expectations for us. We, the creators, we, the content providers, are the ones actually setting up that almost impossible scenario for ourselves. That doesn't make it easier. It doesn't make it not bad. It does make it innately something. Like, what is this thing? Why are we doing this to ourselves? For what purpose? For what purpose? Now, that right there is actually something I'm going to take 2 seconds to talk about. Why do we do this to ourselves? Why do we think that we need to create and make in such a way where it robs us of the joy we felt when we started? Why do we think we need to give in to the pressures of that space? And more so, is there any benefit for us as artists, as doers? Is there any benefit to putting all that pressure down, to forcing ourselves to think we have to be a certain way? Now, granted, I obviously am going to kind of have an answer here, like, no. There's no benefit to pushing yourself like that. It does not make you a better artist. It does not make you a better creator. It does not make your content better. Well, for a lot of people. Not necessarily everyone. There's going to be people who are like, yeah, I need that. I need that push. need that presence of whatever this thing is in order to make me a better artist, make me a better creator. And if you need that pressure, go ahead, embrace that, whatever. That's yours. No one's going to tell you, well, I'm not going to tell you that's wrong. But I will say, as someone who's been doing this since, the 2000s, don't be hard on yourself. There's enough people out there to be hard on you for you. There's enough people out there to push you into a position where you have to do the thing. You have to fulfill the X purpose, whatever that is. You don't have to do that. It's not even that, it's not even just that it's unnecessary. It's that it's not going to be as beneficial as it seems. Your self is more beneficial than whatever motivation makes that seem like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is what I'm supposed to do. No. Don't let people tell you that. Don't let you tell you that. And if you are telling yourself that, stop. Figure it out. You can do this in the way that makes you happy. That's going to be probably the only valuable advice I can give you as a long-term creator, and that is, don't let anyone else tell you how you're supposed to do this, how you're supposed to make your impact, leave your mark. You leave your mark how you feel you should. Leave your mark how you think is important for you. Of course. Somehow, there is a fly in my studio. Don't know what to do about that right now, so we're gonna work with it. It's okay. I'm not gonna get upset. Happens sometimes, you know? All of this is how it happens sometimes. I like how that looks, actually. Let's go ahead. Let's remove some of the pencil in here. Actually, if I'm going to give another tip today, it's have a paintbrush or something like this with you when you're drawing, because a nice flat brush, a nice flat paintbrush, you can just go ahead and get rid of like unnecessary junk that's in your way. I don't got a lot of wisdom, but that's a piece of wisdom I don't mind sharing, making sure that I can pass along. Another just piece of wisdom from my experience. I am a fan of Q-tips for blending and whatnot. Some people use their hands. Some people use those little sticks. Very useful. I like my hand. I mean, I like its Q-tip. I just... Wow. What a day. What a day. Oh. Yeah, this is highly enjoyable. This is just good art time. That's what it is. So, no matter where you're joining me, no matter how you've come to be upon this stream, let me thank you. Directly, personally, let me just say thank you for being here. Thank you for being awesome, because you are. Thank you for being part of the art journey. We're getting a little overly sketchy in this, but to be fair, I don't know, I'm enjoying myself. And when you're enjoying yourself, you don't need to overthink certain aspects, you know? So that's what I'm doing. Not overthinking. Trying not to even overdo. Just being here for the process. Some of these drawings and paintings end up taking really long periods of time. Some of them don't. Some of them don't need to take a long period of time. Some of them are what they are. Just bear with me for a second. I gotta move all of this stuff over here. It's all in my way. It's all in my way. I'm doing stuff and I have tools in my way. Well, that doesn't help anybody. This is what I mean about what I was saying earlier. Like, I really just want to be able to enjoy myself again doing art. I think I've said that on a few streams recently. Like, trying to get back to really just being in the moment or in the project of whatever I'm working on at the time. And part of that is this right here, like actively breaking away from my own constraints. When you break away from your own constraints, you put yourself back in control. Oops. And I'm working really hard at putting myself back in control. And then breaking the tip off my colored pencil. Which we do sometimes, right? Sometimes that's what we do. We break the tip off our pencil. Fortunately, I have a sharpener right here. This will just take a second, and then I have to brush this all off again. And then we will continue in this creative process. I need to remember to have my tweezers in here. I took them out. They're in the bathroom right now. But I need to remember my tweezers when I'm doing this. Which sometimes I forget. Tools and things. And that's okay. It's okay to forget things. It's okay to not always know what you're doing. You know, I do that. I forget what I'm doing. I get caught up in aspects of it and then forget to fully commit. But, you know what I don't forget? That's a real question. What do I not forget? Please, someone tell me. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Having a little bit of fun here. after I get some more of this pencil laid in, and then get a little more pop essentially in the background, then I can move towards thinking, like, do I need to add more charcoal? Because we have charcoal, colored pencil, graphite. You know, we're working in a multimedia style. What colors do I want? What shades do I want? Is there a theming here that maybe I'm missing? Now, let me be fully clear with you. You know, this might be my art, but when it comes to art, there's a lot of in-the-moment creative process that I do. And because of that, we have these ever-evolving, ever-changing kind of visual narratives. I don't want it to all be flat and blah, but I also don't want to think, oh, well, I have to do it this way. I have to do it that way, because I don't. See, like here, I'm actually laying this kind of indigo. I believe it's an indigo blue. Indigo blue. I'm laying some indigo blue into this red to kind of alter, you know, my background. And this is another place where I get to have fun. Like, what am I doing? What am I doing? But, you know, it's really hard to maintain sometimes long conversations when I'm doing this, to like really dig in and be active and part of whatever this process is when I'm in the process. This is probably, in my opinion, one of the reasons that I was not as successful as a video creator in the past. But also why I haven't been more successful as a live streamer. I don't do the really interactive conversation as well as I should. And granted, that's like, okay, you know this, so what are you going to do about it, right? Well, I don't know. What I do know is that I really enjoy the art, and I enjoy the process, and I enjoy like teaching my workshops and all these different things that I employ across multiple different platforms and styles. Like, there's things that I enjoy dramatically more than being beholden to a certain concept or style of creation. Like this here, like, wow, it's just different. And I'm not saying it's different like it's different than what I do anyway. I'm saying it's different because it's not dull. Not okay. You know what? I don't need to be the best at saying what I intend to. I don't need to be overly articulate in these. You know what I need to do? Enjoy myself. So let me get back to doing just that. Enjoying myself immensely. Like, even just what I've done here, I now have kind of like this quartered scheming, and there's a lot going on, and it's all good. All of this is good. Fault that. Let's just go ahead. We're gonna. Because that works. That works. Each little bit, step by step. Step by step. These are the things that I love in art. Maybe love is a bit strong, but maybe not. Alright. I'm gonna bust out the pen here. little bit of pen actually makes just like a huge difference here. Like just a little bit of pen added, huge difference. Do I need it? No, I don't need this pen. But frankly, I like what it does in the design. So, like, here's another place where I can really let a specific medium shine. Yeah. Little bits of pen. So we have a few different interplays here. Ink, pencil. So yeah, I mean, let's just look at so far some of the aspects of what we're working with. So I have ink, I have charcoal, I have the bits of pencil, or so I have graphite and yeah. I'm already kind of half losing track of what I'm trying to say, but it's all right because I don't actually have to know everything I want to say. So some of the aspects that I have kind of playing together and working together are colored pencil, graphite, ink, charcoal. And in those various things that are playing together, you know, I'm really getting a nice tied together piece. And that's actually what's probably to me one of the most important aspects of this artwork is that I can have so many different kind of not opposing, so many different styles of element working together. because they're all kind of working together in a way, they can all play together, they can all influence each other. And there is a lot of working together with a lot of this, you know? This is fun. It's interesting. Hopefully you found this interesting. I realize that we kind of went along a big meandering path to get where we are now. I think that's a fair way to put it. This was a meandering path, right? Some aspects of this artwork were very intentional. Others were very much search and discover. But in the end, we ended up in a really nice place. A little bit of using my hands in there, but it gets across what I think I wanted to get across, what I hoped to get across. And if it didn't, well, that's fine. I still enjoyed myself. Go ahead, I'm going to darken that in because I don't think that's quite dark enough. That looks pretty nice. Come in here. Never underestimate the power of your eraser. Never underestimate the power of getting things done. I think this turned out to be a really lovely piece of artwork. And I hope that you enjoyed joining me on this fun little journey. I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. This is my first piece of art actually for December, so I think that is pretty cool. But you know what it needs? Yeah. Little signature right there on a date. 12/23. I think this is a really nice piece. Hey, here's the cool thing. So let me talk to you for a minute, really quick, before I get going. I'm sure you're already aware I do lots of artwork in lots of different styles, whether it's paintings or abstract artwork or more realistic portraits or more kind of cartoonish. This is kind of like a, I don't know, cartoonish. It's stylized. We'll call it stylized. This is a little bit stylized. But I do a lot of different types of art, and in all of those different kinds of art, you know, I develop lots of different unique signatures that are me. I am not singular, just like any person. You know, there's a lot of variation to what I do. I know I technically already signed this, but there's just like a couple spots that it's like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just make sure that certain things are emphasized. Now, before I get going, I'd like to remind you that you can get my artwork. There's going to be a link somewhere nearby where if you want to buy some of my art, like my prints, my originals, whatever, you can go ahead. You can go to my website and you can get my art there. You can also attend one of my monthly art workshops for abstract art. I have merch. I have t-shirts and sweaters and bags and things like that. But say you liked something like this. If you came to one of my streams and you liked the piece of art that I did during that stream, send me a message. You can buy it. Why? Because I sell my art, and frankly, why shouldn't I make it available to anyone who wants it? So say you liked this particular sketch or drawing, you can always message me, and or like there's a different piece. If I've done a different piece that you really liked that you don't see available on my website for sale, go ahead, send me a message, and you can buy that art. You can buy this piece of art. You can buy any piece of art. Or maybe you want something that no one else has seen. Maybe you'd like to try to get a commissioned art piece. Go ahead, send me a message, and we will get it done for you. But thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me for your Saturday night. I am your Saturday night, and I wish you all well. Be excellent, my friends. Take care, and I will see you all again really soon.